Well, the Jackass boys have been doing their thing for over 20 years now, and the new movie Jackass Forever, they are still on fire. And what I loved seeing this as well, the critics loved this
Critics
movie.
loved it.
Usually they like all the wanky black and white French films. They loved this and said, this is the movie the world needs right now because there's too much bad stuff going on and it's just funny. From the Jackass crew, Chris Pontius joins us in the studio.
Awesome. Thanks
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
The party boy.
Thanks. Yeah, so good to be here. We're actually really surprised the critics are so stoked on the movie. Before they'd be like, God, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. They just come around. But yeah, it came out really good and we're very proud of it. And I can't believe they let us put some of the stuff we put in the movie.
Because were you worried that you'd done because the critics used to go, oh, this is puerile, this is childish and everything, and now they suddenly love it. Did you go, oh man, have we done something wrong?
I don't know if the critics have changed, but no, I mean, it's actually gotten a little more out of hand, like, because the bar for what we think's funny, it always raises. And yeah, like, we realized a long time ago, like, like when we first started making videos, like, whatever you do, if you do it naked, it's 10 times funnier. So in movies, it's a real gray area, like, about how much nudity you could put in it, but yeah, there's a lot of male nudity in it.
There you go. I actually play. I started because we got sent like the film.
The link, yeah.
And I put it on last night. I was like, oh my God, I'll watch it with the kids. And I've got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old boy.
Oh my God.
And he did see quite a few penises.
Godzilla,
And he's yelling at me and he's eating like this yogurt thing and he's yelling at me, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off. I love this. He's like, it's turtles. Like, and it was, I had to turn it off, but I can't wait to show him again in the future.
God. Yeah, I think it's the best movie in opener of all time. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is good. I personally enjoyed it a lot.
My kids were watching it and they said to me, like, there's early 20s now, my kids. I met you were in this very studio 10 years ago.
Yes.
You were about 37. I was almost 40, I think. So we've both aged, and I think aged pretty well, to be honest.
We've aged. We're gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're gorgeous. It is.
If anything, we're more handsome.
I think,
oh my
without
God.
doubt.
It's so hard to keep my hands
Get
to
away.
myself.
Get away, Jess.
Honestly, it's a temptation. It's hard to fight.
My kids asked, how did it all come about, Jack? And I'm not sure whether we touched on that last time you were in, but how did you and the boys get together and say, you know what, let's make some stunts that are going to shock the world, but going to have some fun, but...
We started out, like, we came from a skateboard magazine that was like the naughty skateboard magazine, and it kind of brought together like all the misfits in the freaks in the skateboard world. And so we started making skateboard videos eventually, and then we put all our dumb little stunts in between, and then eventually, like, it just evolved into TV. We put together all the little like funny little skits that we filmed and made a pilot, and it picked up. But we didn't think like people would like it the way they did. Like, some of it, I was like, I don't know if people are gonna like this. Like, because a lot back then, a lot of people like didn't like skateboarders, and you know, we were kind of the people that didn't fit in. But I guess it was just perfect timing.
Was it MTV straight away? Did they pick you up first, or was it someone else first?
I think there was a bidding war actually between
Wow.
between like Comedy Central and MTV, and I think they wanted it to be on HBO possibly. And one of the first skits like we filmed was they tied me up like I was like they stripped me naked, and except for like, you know, a thong, and they bound me up like I was kidnapped, and Johnny Knoxville drove around in an old Cadillac with me in the trunk, and he went up to gas stations, petrol stations, and the tenant would come up and there'd be banging in the back of the trunk, and then I broke out like I was an escaped like person that had been kidnapped, and like people freaked out, and I was like, I don't know if people are gonna like this. It's demented. But
Well, they did. They loved it.
And he's Party Boy in particular. I mean, come on. That was how did that come about? The Party Boy, was that your like
Party Boy? That kind of just fell from the sky. Like, I had a bow tie and some cufflinks, and God, and I think I had an old thong that my friend gave to me as a joke from like a thrift store, a secondhand store. and it just came to me one day. We went to film in England, and I got into the outfit, and then I was like, I got this great idea, and I had to actually we had to get a new thong, so we went shopping around London, and We ran into Boy George actually, like randomly. I was like, so it was a good sign.
Well, you said that you were worried that people wouldn't like it. You've got the skits that you have done. They're so awesome and out there. But has there been anything that you've done that the TV network's been like, oh, nah?
Well, God, when we were doing it on TV, like it started to get more and more. They started worrying about kids imitating stunts, and it got stricter and stricter. And actually, Jackass 2, was never supposed to happen, but we were filming something for our nature show, Wild Boys, and at a horse breeding ranch, and they showed they ended up with some male horse milk, and there was a cup of it, and
it's Triple M. You can say semen. It's fine.
Thank God, I know Australia's awesome. No, we knew that someone had to drink it, and it ended up being me.
Of course they did.
So we took it back to MTV, and they're like, we can't show this on TV, and then so when the idea for Jackass 2 came about, we're like, we already have a great bit in the can, so let's make another movie.
That.
Yeah.
One of the great scenes of all time, because it reminded us, we were talking about it the other day, dumb signs that you see. Why do you need a sign for that? You were talking about there's no smoking in a doctor's surgery. It's like, yeah we kind of know that now. There's a store here, called IKEA, the furniture you put together. In IKEA here in Sydney, there's the display bathroom section and there's the display toilet. And I was telling them there's a sign on the display toilet going, please do not use this toilet because it's not plugged into anything. And they even put plastic over the top and were saying, what type of person would use the display toilet? And we remembered that you guys did in a hardware store. Which one of the crew took the juice in the hardware store?
That's Dave England. I think he's actually been a guest on your show.
Yes.
He specializes in the poop stuff.
That's pretty talented that you can poop when needed. Like, when you're under pressure, it's harder to do. But
you know what happened one time when we were filming? Actually, we had to do the poo skit when he went to go poop in that toilet. Right before we filmed, we had lunch and he ate there's some hot sauce that if he eats it automatically makes him have to poo. And he pooed his pants right before we had to film.
What a waste. What a waste.
But you also got to work with the UFC heavyweight champion of the world in this latest incarnation of Francis Ngannou. What was that like?
I'm a big UFC fan and MMA fan. And I was so stoked that we got to film with him. And he's actually such a sweet guy. God, frighteningly powerful.
Especially in the nuts.
Oh my God! Yeah, we were discussing the type of punch that they were asking what's your hardest punch? He's like, overhand left, and it's like, but for this one I'm going to do an uppercut. But God, Aaron took some heat on.
Oh my goodness!
On this movie. Oh God! But the worst thing on this one to his nuts was the pogo stick. What? Amazingly, or luckily, he just had a child.
Thank God, because he's not having any more.
It did, because he had to go to the hospital. After the pogo stick, the cup test was something that we brought back from the TV series, which was one of the best bits ever. But it went to another level with Francis Ngannou. God, that was so good.
Wow.
Do you still have nerve endings in your testicles? Have you lost some feeling? Has there been any damage?
I've actually gotten very lucky with my testicle damage. My penis has protected me a lot of the time.
How's this living? Has it been like a shield?
It has. It somehow shielded me a lot. I don't know why, but So I haven't really taken that much nut damage. Some penis damage, yes, especially on this movie, because they had my penis was exposed to explosives and all sorts of debris, and the weird, without giving everything away to anyone that hasn't seen it, for the opener, they hired all these foremost experts in their fields, the demolitions expert, that does all the big action movies, the puppeteer from actually Ghostbusters that did the Marshmallow Man.
You're right.
Yeah, he's the most famous puppeteer in Hollywood.
My God.
And it was really awkward because when you're doing things with your penis on you want to look good, but
we're discussing that because I'm an ex-rugby league player.
I know.
So when we go into a shed after a game, it's kind of tucked away at the Speedos. And there's not much movement there. But do you warm yours up before the...
I didn't. Well, the thing is, with especially with these strangers puppeteering your penis, it would be so awkward if you wanted to look good and look good right for the scene, but not too good. So it's a weird balance. It's like you have to like, put your mind somewhere, and then before you get too excited, you change.
I can imagine.
You change and you think about sports or something.
Yeah.
When you're doing sports or anything dangerous, your penis kind of like goes into your body to protect itself.
Doesn't it?
It does.
That's like a turtle.
I remember skateboarding, like anytime I'd be on a vert ramp, my penis would like it. I think it sucks into your body.
It's like it knows danger's coming.
Yeah, your body like has instincts like. I think even like when people are like in romantic situations they shouldn't have gotten themselves into. Yeah. Sometimes I think their penis knows better than they do.
It's almost like there's an invisible puppeteer doll making it move.
Now, as you guys are getting older, are you? I mean, how much more pain have you got in you? Are you guys all going to retire with dignity and go off into the sunset, or are we going to see Knoxville coming out as bad grandpa without any of the makeup effects or anything and just doing it for
God,
real?
I know. Well, as far as like every time we do a movie, it's always the last movie. Everyone's the last movie, and then everybody gets bored. And Knoxville always said, "Oh, this is the last one. This is the last one." Yeah. And then he gets bored, and he starts like going on trips with us and filming, and then we end up making another movie. So I don't know. Like we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're not saying this is the last one ever again. But yeah. I don't know. This one came out pretty hard.
Does having kid now, like children amongst the group as well, does it change the perspective of how deep the trick is, or do you have that in the back of your mind all the time? I've got a little boy.
As far as danger goes, yeah. When people depend on you, you kind of. The idea is to like
entertain,
to look really good, but not. The worst thing is when something doesn't look that dangerous and you get hurt really bad, but it doesn't look like much,
Yeah, that's annoying. You want it to be spectacular.
Yeah.
You're going to be injured. Yeah.
Luckily, like skateboarding kind of taught us to fall good, and I think that saved us. But Knoxville gets hurt a lot because he wasn't a skateboarder, and he falls so bad.
It's very awkward.
Yeah, and once again, like he wanted to film with the bulls, and bulls are so horrible. Like every time, they all always perform, but like. That they really can kill you, like and
he's
like,
unreal.
It's so oh god, I hate it.
Oh.
Like we were gonna film another bull skit after like the big one in this movie with all the guys. I think like I can't remember, they were gonna be dressed as flowers or something and run this mean like Spanish fighting bull through them. And after he got his big hit in this one, everyone's like, I think we're done for the day.
Now, Chris, when you come to Australia, people play stunts on you. They're like, oh, if you go on, morning TV, oh, here's some toast with some Vegemite, like at train. You're like, oh, well, have you had any Australian kind of stunts that they do to you?
The most common Aussie one is wanting to do a shoey together.
Yeah, who would do that?
That's disgusting.
Well, that's why I was famous after Dan Ricciardo, and now we've got a UFC fighter called Bam Bam.
I know. I'm a big fan
just
of him.
around the corner here. So
he's awesome.
He's always in at Triple M Studios, and he's famous for it. He's got now the shoe of Asa.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now everyone in America, everyone in the world knows about the shoey from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of him. He's doing great too.
Yeah.
We love your work. We love all the Jackass movies. The whole universe is fantastic. And
awesome.
as the critics said, we've got wars, we've got pandemics. This is the movie the world
needs
right now.
Yeah, it's time to get back to life and having
Bloody
fun.
oath.
And I'm so God. It's so great to be in Australia. My wife's actually Australian.
Is she? Whereabouts from?
From Sydney.
Oh, good.
Whereabouts? Like what suburb? Where did she go? Like who is she?
North Shore.
Mate,
oh no, we don't
mate.
know. Oh, how did you meet her?
We actually had a mutual friend. When we met through a mutual friend, Dimitri, that he's the director of photography on Jackass, and they were good friends, and that's how we met. But later on, when I came to Australia to visit her parents' house, we were going through some old photos, and she was at a skateboard demo that I was actually at in 1999.
Wow.
She wasn't an adult yet, but I was like, oh my God, I was there.
It's good that you waited, hon.
But I guess we were.
She's outside. Good morning.
Hi, mate.
Hello, darling. Welcome home.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, sit down and just laugh your ass off. It is awesome. Jackass Forever. It's in cinemas now. Coming soon to digital as well. Chris Pontius.
Yeah,
great to see you.
You.